Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks Music Hackspace for having me. Thanks, JP. But yeah, I'm Brett Bolton. And I thought for this Notch meetup, I thought it'd be fun just to kind of not really do a deep dive on anything, but kind of give a really quick overview of how I use Notch. There's like 4 different ways and kind of go through it. Before I do that, kind of a little bit about me. I'm an audiovisual artist. Also for work, I'm a freelance designer. I do After Effects and Cinema 4D as well, but it's pretty much mainly Notch for the last couple of years now. I grew up in Las Vegas, but about 6 months ago, relocated to Los Angeles. So most of my clients are out here and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. I grew up playing drums in local bands, a lot of pop punk bands and emo bands and things that I probably could find on MySpace and be really ashamed of right now. But that was kind of like my life, was playing drums. Eventually I started this 2-person electronic group with my friend Courtney here. It's called Kid Meets Cougar. We're just a 2-person band, electronic. So eventually we're like, hey, it'd be fun to, since we're doing loops and electronic things, it'd be fun to add visuals to our show. So that kind of led me down a crazy rabbit hole where I was learning how to do After Effects and Resolume, then eventually got into the Connect, and it just became a crazy science project where it all kind of worked together, and I kind of found my passion for visuals. Yeah, eventually became obsessed with making visuals and made it into a career. I graduated from UNLV 2009 with an entrepreneurship degree. And then I started like my own little sound design studio, also recording my friends' bands and whatnot. That led me to do content creation for like slot machines, sound design for slot machines in Vegas. But then eventually I kind of went more to the motion graphics side of things, since I kind of learned enough from the previous bands and whatnot. So yeah, that led me to do these digital signage, these crazy digital signs that popped up on the strip, and then also nightclubs and VJ clips and all that good stuff. 2015, I decided to focus on concert visuals, since that was kind of more of my passion. And then late 2016, I met JT Rooney, who is a friend of mine now and also a client, but he kind of introduced me to Notch and brought me into this crazy world. This is from our first show we worked on together up here with Bruno Mars. So that was like, yeah, the first Notch gig I had, and I was like, oh, it got really crazy pretty fast. So we had to learn pretty quickly. But yeah, learning Notch kind of led me to work with these awesome studios: Empirical, Silent Partners, Treatment, and Neon Black. And I've worked for clients such as Petering, Katy Perry, U2, Bruno Mars, Harry Styles, and ERD, Blink-182. Yeah, there's so many ways to use Notch. I'm kind of go through a couple ways here. The main ways I use it. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ways, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to just do a really quick overview of a couple projects without really going too deep. Okay, here's a couple things I built. Concert visuals. So yeah, this is Petering here. This is the most recent thing I've done, and also like the first time I was able to kind of be the creative director and like the director and like designer and everything myself. Usually I work through studios, so it was really fun having that creative freedom. But yeah, this is the Womb Tour, which is postponed until June 2022. So I'm not gonna give away too much, but yeah, it's pretty much a full set of real-time interactive visuals on the scrim. So we've got Megan performing out front, and then a scrim between her and then Corin, who's playing this really cool set of like interactive like drum pillars. But yeah, basically everything is real time and Notch, controlled from Ableton from Corin's set. So it's all reactive to the music, but it can also be manipulated live by the talent. So yeah, Megan has there's a couple different infrared cameras on stage that can see her body and then project her image up on screen behind her. And she kind of manipulate the images as well. But then also Corin has some drum triggers that you can play, and they kind of emit particles or kind of do some crazy effects on the visuals as well. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, hopefully you can see that in June. Yeah, so another way to use Notch, this is U2 with Empirical and Treatment Studios. This is another one of my first Notch gigs as well. This is using iMac effects, which is basically taking the live camera feed and then taking that image of the performer and then projecting it or putting an LED screen right behind them. But it gives us a lot of opportunity to kind of do some cool effects, which Notch is really good at. So this one, yeah, was with Bono. This is one of the first looks we made for U2 for the Joshua Tree Tour 2017. I also worked on the Experience and Innocence Tour in 2018. But yeah, all these effects, it was a lot of fun because I could build the effect and then it could be controlled live by Smasher, who was like the video director. Yeah, and he's crazy because he can just kind of, whenever a course comes up, he can take that exposed parameter on his MIDI controller, just like ramp up the particle effect and whatnot. That is super fun to see live. But yeah, another fun one, another cool technique that we used for Queen and Adam Lambert for Treatment Studios on the Rhapsody tour was this virtual lighting. So basically, this is all LED screen that you can see here. So we were able to kind of make a 3D model and get normal maps and all that good stuff. Create virtual lights or create the entire set in Notch with virtual lighting. But then we can take all the different lights and expose that to the real lighting desk. So whenever the lighting guy says, hey, I want to have this red light sweep from right to left, you can control a virtual light as well. So it would look like that actual corresponding animations happening on the set. So it kind of really tied in all the LED into the actual physical lighting space. That was a fun one. Yeah, so some more client work on XR environments, which has been kind of the last year with all the pandemic things coming through. Yeah, the first one I worked on was this MTV VMAs in 2020, which is kind of when we first were kind of really testing things out. This was with Silent Partners and XR Studios. But yeah, this was a really fun technical challenge for the entire team. Got some crazy talented people that were able to do it, but I helped build this Notch world, which was all this like this New York skyline-esque scene. And we had these neon lights and then all these different billboards. All these billboards were like, you could have a live feed coming in and change the content to be whatever we wanted. But also another big challenge we had was it's a little tough to see in this actual screenshot here, but there was all these little windows here were live Zoom feeds. So we were able to kind of pipe in the live Zoom and have them people clapping and cheering and all that stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, another challenge that really kind of hurt our brains for a little bit. We've got it figured out now. When we first started doing this was how to reveal presenters. So this whole building back here, this set of doors actually becomes the building. So anytime an artist walked on this virtual stage, they would the artist would have to be revealed, and then they'd walk through, and then so we basically have to have the doors be front plate, and then it opens up, they walk through, and then it goes to back plate. So and figuring that out when we were first starting was a little tricky, but we got it, and it was a lot of fun. Another similar gig to that was the GOAT Awards, the greatest of all time. This was just a really fun set design to kind of mess around with in virtual space. Had all this crazy gold, and we had this big crowd of people, virtual people cheering up top here. There's actually a bunch of popcorn down there too. So, but yeah, it was a similar kind of thing with the presentation or the presenter reveal. But this time we got to have a little bit more fun with it. And we had the goat mouth kind of drop down, and they would walk out, and then and then it would close up. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, oh yeah, this is another part of that GOAT Awards. We had Stevie Aoki and Travis Barker do a performance, but we had virtual lighting all kind of beat synced and set out to time code. So yeah, that was cool. And this is just another nice set design that we did this year for Good Morning America with Leon Bridges, Silent Partners and XR Studios as well. It's just a nice environment that they designed. Cool. So yeah, I guess I'm going pretty quick here, which is good. Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to personal work here. So start with interactive installations. This is one of my first tests with Notch. This is like my old apartment. I moved into a new space, and I was like, I want to do like a little mural. So this is all tape on the wall. Kind of did the outline of 3D geometry that was kind of cracked. But then I decided to projection map it, and then I have this little controller that I use with Touch OFC that then is able to kind of light it in different ways, control the coordinates of the light, then also a couple different animations to make it crack and make particles and whatnot. But yeah, that was a fun one. This is Lighten Up, which is an interactive projection photo booth. So people can walk up to this kiosk that I built. They can touch the different, on the screen, there's like this little touch screen that has Touch Designer running in it. This little interface where it has 8 different scenes you can select, but then it's just like a traditional photo booth where you can select a scene and it does a countdown, but then it projects these different scenes on top of you, and then it makes like little GIF loops that you can send emails to yourself. But yeah, all the visuals were created with Notch. Everything run in real time, so you can see like the masking and all that stuff happening, all the interactivity. Yeah, for this one we were using the RealSense is the depth camera on that one, and then yeah, Notch for visuals, Touch Designer for all the kind of back end things that are kind of driving it and making it run. Yeah, and this is kind of another ongoing interactive installation that I kind of want to keep pushing and keep building and make better versions of. It's called Potential Energy. So what it really is like, it's an interactive audiovisual instrument and environment, which is kind of weird to think of, but basically we have this big warehouse space here. And in each, I've got 3 different zones currently, which is each one's a different instrument. So as you kind of walk up into these different spaces, you're controlling 3 different instruments. It all kind of starts out as kind of like a blank facade, very minimal black and white lines, but as each person gets closer, they're able to kind of trigger the audio. And like, so this one right here with drums, I'll go to the next slide here. This is the drums. So as you get closer, kind of opens up this little portal, and all this energy kind of expands out and starts getting louder and louder. But also, along with the visual getting more intense, the audio also gets more intense. So it starts with like a kick drum, and then it adds snare, and then it gets into this really crazy beat for the drums. But then you also have this other station that other people can be at the same time playing, which is like, this is a melody, which is like a multi-play head sequencer that's built in Notch. So based off where they stand in this little grid on the floor, it's opening different notes that the melody sequencer is able to play. And then we also have zone 3, which is the bass. So yeah, as people, these are 3 different notes, and you can't play every single note by yourself, which is a lot of fun. So you can basically walk up to one note, and then it will kind of slowly arpeggiate that one note faster and faster, the more intense as you get. But then yeah, you back away, go slow. But then if you have a couple friends, you can have the arpeggiator going with different notes. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, all 3 together, you can see it makes this big space, and it's all synced together in Ableton. So as people move throughout the space, they're able to create and control a unified soundtrack. So they're basically making their own music and kind of jamming together as they watch each other kind of walk through the space. Yeah, it's Potential Energy. I want to make a couple bigger versions of that too, so it should be fun. Cool, and now this is like the kind of last section that I'm going to go through. It's audiovisual shows. So this is my band, AV band, with my sound designer friend Ben Porter. He plays guitar and keys, and I play drums and samples and some keyboard and stuff too. But the whole concept, I've got like a little Notch talk that I did before at NotchCon about this, but it's basically the entire concept was to build these interconnected AV systems where the sound wasn't like the main focus. I mean, it's just as important as the visuals. So we built a bunch of systems where the visuals create music, and then the music also create the visuals, so they're all kind of synced up in real time. So that way the visuals are kind of another performer with us, like it's another member of the band. So it's a lot of fun to kind of bring that all together and try to play with visuals, because we can't just play to each other. We also have to kind of sometimes watch what the visuals are doing, listen to what the visuals are making. So it's a fun challenge. Cool, and this is the last project I'll talk about here. Radii, this is kind of my newest project. It's my quarantine project. It's audiovisual performance centered around real-time projections on a drum head. So yeah, I basically built a bunch of different songs and kind of AV systems, virtual instruments that get projected onto the top, from above onto my drum head. And then I can kind of change different parameters with different sensors. I've got to connect above it for some of the tests where it can track my sticks and create electricity. But yeah, it's been really fun to explore different ways that you can kind of create audiovisual work on just one small head of a drum. yeah, I'll explore that more. But yeah, that's kind of it for all my projects. I think it'd be fun to kind of go into a couple quick my favorite quick notch tips, if that's cool. Let's see. Yeah, I'll start with my favorite OSC notch and Ableton connection, which is Live Grabber here. I'll stop sharing that. Share screen. Cool. Are you guys seeing Ableton and Notch together? No? Okay. You don't see.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all good.
Cool. All right. So yeah. So basically, this is the way I get Notch and Ableton to talk to each other. I know you can do MIDI a lot. You can kind of do that, but I found that this is the easiest for me and the most fun is using OSC. So I've got OSC all set up here in Notch. I'll get the playhead running. I just have two little squares here, parameter 1, parameter 2. They're not doing anything right now because I'm not animating, but I'm using this Max for Live plugin called Live Grabber. It's on the ShowSync website. I can kind of post a link about it later. But yeah, what it is basically a series of Max for Live devices here that allow you to take different types of, you can take audio and it can analyze the audio, or it can take different types of parameters like volume and whatnot inside Ableton, and you can map that to whatever OSC parameter you want. So it makes it really easy to send OSC signals to and back from Notch, which is a way that I control. I can kind of send OSC back out from Notch. That's a whole another thing. Yeah, I'll show you. So basically, you set the grabber sender here with the right port, and then the automation here to make your little clips. And then if you play it, you can make little clips like with Live Grabber. So now I've got this set up on a track. It's the void grabber, and I have that just mapped to a couple different parameters on macros. So then you say what parameter you want, and you make the corresponding parameter here in Notch. Parameter 1, parameter 2, you can control whatever you want straight from clips and with Live Grabber, which I know you can do it MIDI, but for me, this is way more streamlined, and you can also send information back to Ableton. So yeah, so this is parameter 1, it's just going up every measure, and then parameter 2 is doing a nice little sine wave there. But if I switch automation, you can see the new clip. It's changing with automation, so it makes for some really cool animations really easily that are all synced to the beat. This is how we did all the animations, and instead of doing time code visuals, we have for Purity Ring, I did all the animation inside Ableton. So Corn plays his Ableton set, it syncs up with an Ableton set that I've got on the digital computer, and then I kind of just draw animation curves in if I need to change scenes and go to different segments and whatnot. So for me, this made it really quick to animate and have fun with music driven visuals inside Notch. But yeah, that's Live Grabber. It's my favorite little tip there. I only have like one other tip too, which is post effects. I don't know if many people use it, but I love using, not Glow. I mean, everyone uses Glow, but I've got, I think it's really cool to note, I use it all the time, is using these, a lot of post effects have mask image and effect image inputs. I'm not sure if they're used that often, but they're super powerful because it allows you to take, so if I just have a test image there, you can use, like say this is just like a fractal noise marble effect. But then you can use that on top of post effects and use that to drive the actual effect. So if I've got just a curl noise on top with no effect, it affects the entire image. But if I want to do a fractal noise, that whatever image you want on top, you can sit there and kind of, it lets you kind of define what you want the effect to be driven by. So if you can stack those together too. So it makes for some really complex, really fun ways to use post effects that wouldn't be your traditional just throwing it in there. Yeah. Also, another fun way to use post effects is these blend modes too. So you can get crazy by using subtractive. So it's not even a glow at all anymore. You get really abstract. Things like that. Just yeah, kind of play around with the different play modes with all the different effects. It can create some really happy accidents. But yeah, I think with that, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I don't know if I should put up my information or whatnot, but yeah, thank you guys for listening to my spiel.
That's really awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. It's very, very diverse, the amount of work you do, installation, live shows, TV.